all scrunched up.
First episode in.
Yes.
And you are insulting my equipment.
I didn't realize we started.
We started. First episode in, we're already starting insulting my equipment.
It looks squishy. It's not my fault.
Stole that from the Happy Hour podcast, just like how I stole. Nothing else. Actually, I stole back the idea of restarting my podcast. Joke's on them, though. Lol.
Well, is that big of a deal?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Let's Talk Tendies podcast, the best podcast in my mind. Today, we have our new co-host here. It's not her, it's the dog, actually, who's just beyond the camera.
Yes.
You can see her breath through the what? Sadie, come here. Come here. I'm getting a message. Come here.
She's a little cutie pie.
Come here. You have something to say?
It's always the same thing.
Always the same thing. For those who don't know, who don't realize, this is my girlfriend, Savannah. Pedal bomb. Not the dog.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you'd be great on Jonah's podcast. You'd be great on the Happy Hour. Anyways, welcome back. For those who don't know, I'm Tendie, Carter, whatever you want to call me. This is Sav, Pedal Bomb. She's the new co-host. She has agreed to it. I wish I recorded the agreement so I have it on video, but she agreed to it.
Yeah, why not?
That also means, are you going to keep... Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For those who don't know yet, the reason she says we're back down here is because we recorded Prime reviews, 2 separate Prime reviews in the basement.
Now go check those out on Chicken Tendie Gaming.
They're not out yet, but I gotta edit them. I'll eventually get around to it.
Are you gonna put this out first?
Probably.
Oh.
Anyways, so...
Well, if they're out, then go check them out.
If you recognize the background for any matter of the reason, there was a small amount of time where I actually slept in the basement. The reason is because I was getting my room renovated to what it is now. So if you recognize this wall, that's because I recorded on this wall.
On this wall.
On this wall.
What? Okay.
Along with this, we also decided that the bi-weekly podcast is going to continue and that we're going to have a guest. She's now the always guest, and every time we have a guest who wants to come in the real space, bam, right in the middle. I need to get a new mic.
I am the best guest.
You'll be the only continuous guest. I guess the only repeat guest, if you want to
I am the best guest?
You are the best guest.
Oh, shh.
Yes, we know. I'll get you on an episode one day.
She's on an episode. She's on this episode.
I get it. You want your fame. I know. The Prime review won't come out yet. The joke in the Prime review was that we got Sadie's opinion for not drinking it, and we just put the mic to her, and she went and just sniffed it. That's the idea behind it.
Yeah, well, she did a pretty good
Good
job.
Review. Better than some reviewers. Can you calm down?
She has issues.
I got things and things and more things and more things. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Let's Talk Tennis podcast. We are going to actually steal this from the Happy Hour podcast. We're going to roll the intro not right away because I actually want to do a little bit of editing on this. I'm going to have to do it anyway, so I hate myself and I hate everything with me. Moving on, watch the intro, do better, enjoy it. Anyways, yeah, have fun. And welcome back. Little did you know, I actually don't sit there for the full 30 seconds or whatever it is. Did you know that? I actually don't sit there for the full 30 seconds. I give it 2 seconds and then I go, okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back. So, this episode, do you want to introduce yourself for those who don't know already? I've done a lot of yapping.
So I am Pedal Bomb, aka Savannah, aka Chicken Tendie's girlfriend. Oh my goodness, whoa. Thanks for having me. You've probably seen me in a few other videos, and you might have watched mine. If you did, congratulations. You're one of very few. And, well, I do art. I sing. Not very well, but I sing. And
Some would argue you sing well.
Some would argue that I don't. And it's about it. Not much to me. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, so that's Sav. We are slowly, as in slowly, I mean right away, going to introduce her in every episode as now the co-host.
I am co-host.
She is co-host.
I am,
hopefully as long as this podcast lasts. The reason why
I am co-host. Chicken Nugget, because he's Chicken Tendie.
There you go, Nugget.
I'm not. I don't know.
The reason for a co-host was simple. I'm bored and I like conversation. I don't like talking to myself or just to a camera. It sucks.
It's also just a bunch of blabbery at that point because I used to do it too.
She also doesn't listen to the episodes where I yap along. So I thought, why not invite her to the yapping session?
Listen, I listen to the yappers just depending on the video.
No, she doesn't. I thought, what a great way to start with the first co-host. Start in a bunch of conversation. Mostly because from your house to my house, the 7-minute drive it took, I encountered 2 bikers on the road. Hot take, they're stupid.
Why are they stupid?
Okay, so for those who don't know, starting like in Canada, I don't know if it's the same in the States. If your form of transportation has wheels, you can consider it road legal.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people who will bike to places. They'll go and they will like bike, but if there's not a bike lane on the road, they'll just go on the road.
Well, you know, it's like illegal to be on the sidewalk. Technically, I know a lot of people do it. I do it. Yeah, I think
it's safer.
It is. It's safer and it's more comfortable for me. But like, it is technically illegal to go on the sidewalk on a bike.
It's
technically.
I still think that's unless there's a dedicated bike lane. Like in my little neighborhood, there's no dedicated bike lane. It's literally just a street, and then my street that connects to the street, and then it basically is just a U. That's it. And it's such a dumb thing where you can't be safer on a sidewalk, but you have to go onto a road where people suck at driving.
Yeah, no, I agree. Trust me, I wouldn't ride my bike on the road if it's around, like, I have, obviously, but, like, mostly, like, crossing the street and stuff like that, but, like, on the road does seem, like, I get nervous easy, too, so on the road it would probably, like, freak me out, of course, because, like, I don't know who's in front of me or behind me, and they're going to probably hit me because nobody knows how to be careful.
No.
My baby.
It's really I understand that it's a form of transportation with wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't walk on a road. That's a no-no. But if it's not motorized, it shouldn't be on the motorized. This unnamed cola is messing. Yes, Sadie.
She shoved me a little.
Sit down. Sit. Maybe we can get her on the camera.
But here's the thing. She's also like, what is it? She's like a big lap dog. She doesn't know how big she is.
But one of the things, it should be for motorized vehicles only, is the way I see it.
I agree.
And it should be like, because I guess you can get around with it with the e-bikes, the e-scooters and stuff like that, but like, motorized where you have to press a pedal to get it to go. Or in I don't know how to e-bike work, but like in the case of like a bicycle, like you have to like, or like a motorbike, you have to twist the thing. I don't know if that's how e-bikes work.
Yes and no.
Anyway, yes and no.
I can't really remember. I've only been on an e-bike a few times, but kind of works the same way for some. I know that there's others where you, like, I guess have to press a button or something like that. Like, there's a few ways to do it. But, like, I get your point.
It's just annoying because in, at least Ontario, you have to give them, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to give them a meter of space when you pass them. But on a busy road, like when we came back to my house, the road we were going down where we were kind of stuck behind the bike was relatively busy. Sometimes you can't just sneak over, like how you could on a normal, like if the road's empty. It's such an inconvenience for other people when the sidewalk's right there, and you can just say no, use the sidewalk. You calm now?
She's so funny.
She got a toy. She's gonna find her way out now.
Okay. She can't.
She's
She
Sav
can't get
has
out.
blocked off her only way out. Oh, she's forcing her way out now.
No, she's going underneath my leg. Here, you can go. Be free. I could have stopped. Sorry, I watched all the hair just went.
Oh, I know. It's funny. Sadie sheds too much.
Oh my gosh.
Insane amount.
I'm sure plenty of people who are watching this know exactly how you feel.
Short-haired dogs. Yes, you. Interview? No. You want an interview? No. Okay. Short-haired dogs are horrible when it comes to shedding.
That's true.
Just everywhere. I can't go 5 seconds without seeing a clump of Sadie hair on the floor. It was great when we had dark floors.
So my dog is like a Jack Russell, and she sheds like really, really small. Like all of her stuff is like really, really small. But the issue is it gets everywhere, including all over my bed and all over my black clothes, because she's a white dog. So it's like really noticeable on all of my clothes, and it's really, I love her to bits and pieces, but like, man, is it frustrating?
Yeah, I would come home from your house and it would be like, I look down and my pants are now like spotted with little white hairs.
I love it and hate it.
I hate it. My grandma had Jack Russells and they would shed a lot.
Yeah, but they're so cute.
They are, but they're...
She's so cute, but she is probably like the most vicious dog you'll ever meet. And she's about this big. She's not very big.
She's devious.
She can get out of any place imaginable. And she is like super sneaky.
Casual Jack Russell moment.
Sorry, I had to talk about my dog. She's super cute.
Cute's a word.
She is cute.
Oh
my gosh, have you seen her
I'm sorry.
She sleeps so cute.
I'll see if I can find the photo. The one photo I have of her where she just like bug-eyed is hilarious. Where is it?
I don't really understand.
You will understand.
But well.
You
will understand. That's so cute. Okay, that is so cute.
Oh, that was too
it's
dark.
Gone now.
That was too dark. Can we see that? Bug-eyed. It's funny, okay? It's funny. Funny. Anyways, she told me not to do that. Pick up the mic and talk into it, but too bad.
If you are that close, it is going to deaf everyone.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's actually probably not even to the fullest degree.
Probably annoy a lot of people because you sound like this. People hate me.
Moving on. So bikers on the road suck, especially for drivers.
Personally, I don't get that.
Dogs shed too much.
That's true.
What else can we talk? What else was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah, high school.
Yes.
We had two very different experiences in high school, which I don't think we've actually touched upon on film recording things.
I don't really think we talked about it too much even together. Like,
well,
our differences.
Our differences, no. We talked about just high school in general.
Yes, but like not like because we went to the same high school. It's not like we went to two different ones. We went to the same one, but
How do we want to start with that? Who wants to go first?
it's your podcast.
My high school experience sucked. It was bad.
I liked high school.
Horrible.
I had so
think
much fun.
the part that saved high school for me was the pandemic. I think I'm one of the very few who enjoyed being stuck at home for the pandemic. Which is where I know you don't.
No, it didn't really affect me either way. I was pretty happy. I just missed people.
I hated people. Long story short, as you can tell, I'm not the skinniest kid. I'm also a ginger. It doesn't go too well. It doesn't go too well. Late elementary school into high school was rough. At least for me. I don't know about
Late elementary school. I thought it was all of
all
them.
elementary school, but late elementary school is when it picked up.
His whole life.
Grade 7, 8 is basically when it picked up.
Apologies for making jokes about your life.
If you're not gonna do it, I will.
Fair enough.
So yeah, late elementary school was tough going into high school, and I thought I was told high school would get better. Grade 9 wasn't horrible, except I was still stuck with the people that made grade 8 hell. If that makes sense. It wasn't horrible for the most. Seriously!
It was just hard for when people noticed you.
Yeah.
And like...
It was nice until, right? It was always, it's always nice until.
Oh, I got some stories about that for you. That I remember. You don't have to say.
I don't. I probably won't. I have a horrible memory. So yeah, it was nice until. And a lot of it would just be like one-off experiences. It would literally be all in, it was funny because it would always be in one day where it just was like, oh yeah, I'm having a good, never mind. Like it just would always happen. Are you okay?
She just wants to hang out. Please, leave her alone.
She needs a little stool to sit on.
Leave her be.
She needs a little stool to sit on and be a part of the party.
Leave her
Oh, you can
be.
kind of see her now.
Oh no.
She blends in with the, the little dark thing.
Leave her be.
Leave her-
Whoa.
Leave her be!
Whoa. Sorry, she nibbled my sweater. She nibbled it. Oh. Ah! Listen, girl. Listen, lady. You pick one or the other.
Anyways, it was good, and then it was bad, and then it was weird. So
it was bad, worse, and
it was bad, actually. Grade 10, I think, was the worst.
Well, grade 10, you had a lot of issues, but first semester was when...
First semester was bad.
But then we ended up going into COVID.
Yeah, that was, 10 second semester?
Uh-huh.
It's great.
Got Sadie hair all over me.
So, grade 9 was okay, except for, I think, gym class was kind of when it was bad. Because that was all the kids that that made it bad in elementary school.
Well, yeah, they were...
Because they're all athletic kids. Like, we were all athletic, and we all like sports. So we'd all be in, the same sport classes. So that was bad. Grade 10. I'm trying to think. Other than, I can give this one experience. So, grade 10 English. I'm not going to give names of teachers, whoever, unless they're good and I like them. Which is the way I do it. I don't name drop unless I like them. Which give me 3 weeks, and I will give my ranking of my college teachers.
Well, the teacher he's about to mention was great to me, which is unfortunate.
Which is weird. This is the experience we're talking about. So, grade 10, I had English. And I had nobody that I knew that I liked. I should say, I knew a couple people in the class. So there's nobody I liked in the class. Nobody that liked me. That didn't go too well with whatever. But we were in class one day, and it was... I don't even know what we were learning. I don't remember. All I remember is we watched Shakespeare. But is that Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio? Weirdly great movie. It's such a bad movie, but it makes it so good.
You know, I've never seen that movie.
Really?
No.
Really?
No.
I'm surprised.
I love Romeo and Juliet, but I love just
see if we can find
the
it.
actual story. Like, I like reading about it and hearing about it, but I've never seen any, like, besides Romeo and Juliet, because,
Let's see if
like,
I can
that was
find it
one of
now.
my favorite movies. Just like,
I gotta see if I can find it now. Not the shake. I want the movie.
I want that movie.
I want that movie. Yeah, this one. Leonardo. Oh, it's on Disney Plus. We can watch it tonight.
Sick.
Sweet.
Awesome.
So we were in class one day. I was talking with the teacher. He wasn't really paying attention, but we were in like a conversation. He was kind of out of it, but they were talking about the Leafs or something. Who played tonight, by the way. The conversation, we're talking about whatever. I'm gonna say Leafs because I don't fully remember. He ends up stopping whatever he was doing on his computer, and I swear, if you ask anyone else in that class, I won't remember it, but I only remember certain things. He stops in the class and he goes, "Oh my God, Carter, can you stop talking?" Then turns to the class and says, "Raise your hand if you want Carter to stop talking." On God, on Jaw, is what happened, and everyone raised their hand. So it didn't really help, but that was like the peak of the bad, to the point where I think I got too much anxiety that I couldn't eat breakfast to go to school. And the worst part is, it was the last class of the day, so it was always like,
oh, you always had that anticipation.
It was like, what's gonna happen today? That was one of them. Another one, I think a girl was just talking and she said something about me and I told her to shut up.
Oh.
I don't remember what happened in that one, though. I don't remember what she said.
No. Well, for me, I also... Okay. The thing with me is, if I was ever picked on for any reason, or if somebody was making fun of me, most of the time I really wouldn't notice. Because, like, I'm not one to let anything bother me too much, unless it's my own doing, or in my own head. But, like, most times, I wouldn't get bothered by that stuff, because I didn't realize...
On your bed.
Wow. Interrupting me. I finally get to talk, and now you... Wow. This is how it goes.
On your bed.
Enough. Listen, dog. Shh. I'm so sorry.
Do you want to go upstairs? Come on, let's go upstairs. Keep talking.
Okay. So, back to what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by a dog. Because, for some reason, everybody has interrupted me. But,
anyways, so moving on.
So, basically...
Anyways.
Basically, I never really was bothered by anything. So I never, like, even if a teacher called me out most times, I wouldn't really pay mind, because, like, I just didn't care enough, apparently, to, like, I care a lot about certain things. But when it comes to, like, people making fun of me or whatever, I wasn't really too bothered by it, because I didn't really notice. I didn't have a reason to notice. I didn't care.
That's fair.
It was like, oh, somebody's... Because, like, I would have... I used to have this kid in school who used to... Like, whenever I had a ponytail in my hair, he used to pull my hair, like, in elementary school. And, like, him and his friends would always, like, tease me about certain things. But the thing is with me, I'm always able to tease myself first before I can ever be insulted. Because, like, even on TikTok, I literally have cringe in my my bio so that nobody can make fun of me first.
Cringe is your name. Is literally your...
Exactly.
It's literally your TikTok handle.
Because it's like, okay, call me whatever you want, because you're not going to get anything out of me. If anything I've ever said, I've said. Like, anything anyone else is going to say, I've already said to myself, 2 steps away from the mirror. Just saying.
I was nose to nose with myself in the mirror.
No, but, like, it's just one of those things. I had a good experience, like, and it sucks because even all of my siblings were bullied and picked on, whatever. And I didn't, like, I'm glad I didn't have that experience, but I wish I could relate. I wish I could understand 100%, but most times I can't, because it's like I wasn't picked on, and if I was, I didn't care enough for them to keep going. Because it's like I didn't pay mind to it, so nobody kept going.
Elbozo, basically.
Elbows.
It was great going into COVID. COVID was great.
Well, like, for me, I'm able to easily adapt to everything. So it's like during COVID, I got good grades. I got to sleep in, and I helped my sister with her homework. And I got to draw all night, and I got to stay up for hours. I have terrible sleep insomnia, so I'm up for hours on end, and like I used to
Yeah, you would like fall asleep at like what, 3, 4,
no,
5?
Not sometimes like 7 a.m. because I would go upstairs most days, and I would grab a coffee, and my dad would look at me and go, "You still awake?" And I would go, "Yep," because he was asleep before I was. Like everybody I knew was asleep before I was.
Which sucked because when we first started dating, she was already working her job. And she was a cashier at, I'm not giving the company free press. Pay me for that. She started working as a cashier, and she would work nights because it would be like she'd go home from school, change, go right to work. And then you'd work weekends.
Yeah. It was 4 to 9 weekdays, and there was whenever on weekends, so it was like 8 to 4, 4 to 9, whatever it was. It kind of was up and down.
And then you would get home, and I would already be halfway. Well, you would get home, and either I would freak out because you didn't text me, because
really
I would
bad
get
at
really
that.
worried because she is a teenage girl walking home at like 9:30 at night by herself in the dark with weird people. And then she would just not text. She would get home and crash and act like legitimately just fall asleep from exhaustion. And then I would just freak out all night. And she's like, "Good morning." I go, "You didn't text me when you fell asleep?"
No,
I was
most
worried.
times actually he'd text my siblings, and then they'd wake me up at like 12, and then be like, "Savannah, text your boyfriend. He's freaking out. He's calling everybody, and he's worried you died." And I'm like,
I
"Oh."
always gave it an extra half an hour.
And then I would text him, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm alive. My bad."
And then I would just fall asleep. I don't know. But now that you work mornings, you're actually sleeping.
Yeah. I have, like, well, recently it's been getting back down there. But, if you couldn't tell by me falling asleep before you most of these nights.
Yeah.
This week. Which usually I don't, because, my job is really hard now. So, not only am I exhausted from working really early in the morning, I'm exhausted because I'm doing a lot of physical labor, and that's a lot for me, especially because I am a short girl working with a bunch of like tall boys who
big manly men.
Yeah, pretty much. Who like obviously are a lot more like suited for the job physically.
It's funny too because you keep up with them. Really, like you either keep up with them or you do more than them.
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah.
Which is like really impressive.
Well, it's only because like what is it? I've always been an overachiever.
That is
even
true.
in high school. And anything I ever did, it's why people like teachers liked me, is because anything I ever did, I was always on top of it. Like on top of it. I had like a few teachers who didn't like me, but they didn't like anybody.
That's fair.
But
there were some teachers who just sucked.
What is it? I've always wanted to be on top, so it's like I was always the fastest kid or at least second place,
She's
which is fine.
speedy.
I was always one of the smartest people. Like, not to too much. It's not to be like, oh yeah, I'm so smart. Oh
No,
my god.
do it. Say it's the
Because
best.
I know I'm dumb.
You know how many views we can get if you just say that men suck?
Like, I've always wanted to be like one of the most popular people. So I was like, if I wanted something, I'd go for it, and I usually got it. I say usually because obviously it's life. We don't get everything we want.
Yeah.
But if I had a goal, I'd go for it. I wanted good grades, go for it. I wanted to be muscular, went for it. Wanted to be fast, went for it. Like, you go for it. If you don't go for it, then you're not going to get it. And even if you...
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. In school, my brain was, if I hand this in now, even if I'm late, I get the 50%. Because obviously, in Canada, we get 50.
In the States, it's 75 is a pass, right?
Yes. It's like...
That's tough.
I know.
That's actually tough. It's 75 to pass.
It's like, at least I passed. That's all I wanted. I still got higher grades than that, obviously, but it's like, that's what I strived for. It's like, if I'm gonna get it. No, regardless. Right. It's like, if you don't go for it at all, then you're going to sit there and think to yourself, why didn't I go for it?
That's fair.
So my whole life, I'm just a go getter. But I don't know if you were...
It depends on what it is. I think for me, it's if I'm really interested in it, then I'll go for it. Like, actually, tying back to the COVID thing, my YouTube channel, I've probably talked about this a million times, started during COVID, and it was I'm going to make the name. It was at the time, I love my mom. She didn't want me starting YouTube for, like, safety, which is fair, right? You as a parent, you don't want your kid to be on the internet.
Especially with all the people who...
All the weirdos out there.
I was on the internet early, but, like...
Dom. Hey, it's me.
Don't. They don't know. They don't know. Listen, unless they really look... Like, you gotta dig to find my old stuff. And I would rather if you didn't, because a lot of it is... just a mess.
I'm gonna put it on my channel one day.
No, you are not. If you do that, I will hit you.
You do that? Anyways. You thought. Anyways. So.
Oh. Good thing I didn't.
The bit was over.
Good thing I didn't actually hit you. I was like.
So, COVID. I started the channel. I was literally a New Year's. Before we were dating. It was a year before we were dating. It was like a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, like, hey, let's just make it and go for it. I think I talked about this in the last episode, actually. So
like a New Year's...
Not even, like, there wasn't even a resolution. It was just, I want to make it. So I made the email, made the channel, made the name. Was like, okay, great. That night, I made the logo. As bad as it was. I was like, great. And I went to my mom the next day and I said, hey, so I've made the channel. I have the name. I have everything I need. All I need is a capture card, something else and something else, whatever it was. And she goes, well, okay. Made it. So it was that. Now I'm here 3 years later, still somehow posting. I think this is the one thing that I actually haven't. Usually after like a couple months, if it doesn't do well, I just kind of give up.
But this is something you committed to.
This is the one thing that I think I just actually stuck with.
Which I'm very proud of you for.
Thank you. That also is including all the other channels I have made. Which is now 6, by the way.
Well, like, if you go back to the first video he ever made, and then you come back to the one he'll probably post last, you can look and see how much progress you've made, which is so impressive. Like, because, like, I know a lot of people are like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to do this. But the difference is, like, a lot of the time they do give up. But this is something that you actually want. And this is something that you've been doing so well at.
Thank you. It actually... So, advertising I'm doing now. I'm currently in my field placement for advertising. So I'm almost done my advertising program. I have done... my role for the team, for the company I'm with, it's like a designer. So I'm the one like making the graphics for things. I don't think I would have gotten here without YouTube. Because grade 12, I took,
Crazy.
I know, almost 2 years ago? Would have been 3.
Grade 10?
No, not grade 10, grade 12.
Grade 12. Oh,
3? It'll be 3
yeah,
next
3
year.
years. Because
Yeah.
you and I started dating in grade 12.
Yeah. So 3 years ago, it was like, okay, I'm going to take this Photoshop kind of graphic design course, and maybe it'll help me with YouTube videos better. And then it was my Adobe subscription ran out. So I was like, okay, whoop-de-doo. And then I went into a design, like there was a design class I had to take for advertising, and it just almost stuck with that. And I liked making things. I really like making graphics, if you can't tell. But it kind of just stuck with that, and I've been doing that for a while too, on and off. My art account has not been doing well, and I don't post on it consistently at all.
I forgot you had one.
Right? I always forget I have one. I'm like, I look, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have an account.
If it makes you feel better, me too.
Yeah. Then you'll send me stuff on your art account every now and then.
I get pretty impressed with myself sometimes. Yeah, I know. I'm a little big-headed, but that's okay.
But like this main channel, like Chicken Tendie Gaming, is the only thing long term other than sports that I have stuck with. And the only thing I can actually think of in a while, because other than like sports, you play half the year, you practice for another quarter of the year, doing it 3/4 of the year. You kind of have to stick. Once you pay it, you kind of have to stick with it, or else it's just a waste of money.
He just stops playing
In
the middle of a game.
I did do that actually.
Yes.
Did I tell you this? That I left a team halfway through a doubleheader.
Yeah, I think so. But if you want to recap,
I can do it. I don't think I've said it on the story. So I don't think I've said it on either my podcast or the sports podcast that I'm on, or that I also mine. My podcasts. No.
My whole podcast. Oh my gosh, I'm the only person who is on these podcasts.
Basically, no, I'm kidding. Love you, Jonah. So now
you have to shout out his account.
I do that all the time.
Well,
Bragging Gaming. Shout out. There you go.
You're welcome,
Shout out,
Jonah.
homie. Shout out.
I got you.
Shout out Concession Stand Podcast. Anyways, so at the time, I was playing, I don't know what I would have been, 15? I think I would have been 15 at the time. And we were playing a doubleheader against my hometown. I wasn't playing for my hometown. I didn't make the team, so I was like, okay. So I went back to my other team that changed coaches, basically changed from the ground up. So we were playing, and I'm trying to think. We were playing a doubleheader, and the game just went bad. We weren't scoring. We were making mistakes, stuff like that. And our coach, I heard him whisper something, because I was sitting, he was at the dugout entrance, I'm on the bench for the inning or whatever, because that's how it worked. And he ended up saying something like, if this guy makes a mistake, I'm going to cut him from the lineup.
Let me tell you, he was such a good player.
Okay, now we're stretching.
No,
the
I'm
highest
telling
I played
you,
was single A, and that was for
I
half a season
am
'cause it got
telling
shut down
you,
by
he
COVID.
was so good, and he does not give himself enough credit.
I'm really not that good.
Let me tell.
I'm
liar!
I am not that good. Anyways,
if only you knew.
The only thing I can do is field, and that's about it. I don't think I can do it anymore. I haven't played in a year, 2 years.
But anywho, your story.
Anyways, so we go over, or the player, funny enough, next play makes another mistake. So my coach goes over to the thing and scratches whatever, does whatever to it. And I'm on the bench. I'm bored. We're not winning. We're not doing anything. I'm like, oh, coach put a change into the lineup. I went over and I looked at it, and the coach was like, I could kind of see him at the corner of my eye, but I was kind of just reading the lineup to see if I was going in the next inning. And all I hear is, it would be nice if the players let us talk or something like that, or wouldn't overhear our conversation. And I kind of like was like this and this, and it took me a second to actually like register. And I looked up and I looked at him, and he's like mad face staring at me, and I'm like,
Well, if
what?
you don't talk that loud, then nobody's gonna hear you.
I'm like, what? Oh. And I went and sat down. Later in the game, another player made a mistake, and I said some smart ass comment like, "Hey, do you need a Snickers because you're not hungry, or because you're not you, or something like that?" Like, I made some smart ass comment, and he goes and gets up in my face, and we had to be separated and whatever. Game ends.
People are so sensitive.
I was just upset because the coach.
You're hungry. That's funny.
It was. So the coach was being a dick. A couple players on the team were being assholes. Your neighbor, funny enough, her neighbor was on that team, actually said some things about me. He was never good at baseball. I can say that wholeheartedly. It was all just pent up stuff, right?
And that just.
And I remember my mom, she went to go get Subway and she came back because we played at a different time. Anyways, she came back and I'm like, I hate this team. I'm like in tears. I'm like, I hate this team. They're all assholes. They all suck. So my dad, fed up because he watched it all, went over, screamed at, or wasn't yelling at my coach. He was yelling at my coach, but it wasn't loud. Calls me over.
Raising his voice.
Calls me over. I'm like, you're the worst coach I've ever played with. I hope you quit. I hope the team fails. I'm done. Go fuck yourself. This and that. I'm screaming, crying at him. You suck. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm never playing for you again. He goes, okay, you can leave. I go, great. I hope this team fails. And anyways, so I'm saying bye to a couple players that I like. One of the other coaches come over here who's not your neighbor's dad, because he was a coach. And he goes, look, I'm going to try to get him off the team. If I can, I'll call you. And I go, great. Don't know if he ever did. My parents, it wasn't brought up after that. And I was honestly going to quit baseball. And then the next year I tried out for a team. I got on it. It was actually for the hometown team. Got on it. I'm like, great. Playing baseball again. And then played the season. Tried out. I wasn't going to play after that because I'm like, okay, now I'm done. And I got a call, or my mom, because her number's on the contact, got a call from the coach of the single A team and was like, hey, we see your son's stats. We're wondering, we're down a player. We're wondering if he wants to come for practice and see how it goes. And we're looking to add him to the team. Great. Realize that there's maybe 3 or 4 players who played on our high school football team with me. One of them I don't like. I think you know who I'm talking about.
No, there's a few.
No, the 2 of the 3 I liked. It was Tyler and Ryan I liked.
Okay.
Shout out Tyler. Shout out Ryan. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't know what they're doing now. And the other one, he was nice to you, but he hated me. This was before we started dating. Yeah. So
I gotcha. I remember him.
We practiced once a week, Wednesday nights, and the practices started at
I was so surprised.
9:30. I don't know. All I remember is I had football, then ball hockey, then baseball on Wednesdays. I was tired on Thursdays. Thursdays would be game day for football, so I was like, oh my god. I never played. I never started. So I went, and it was like maybe a month or 2 in. He just starts. We don't like each other, so we're kind of yelling at each other, like we're shit talking each other. And he goes, "How'd you get on this team?" I go, "I didn't even try out, and I made this team." That says something. You can't speak. And I remember just walking away. And then we just did the next drill. I'm just like, My mom's like, don't say that, they ask you to be on the team, this and that. So I'm like, okay. Broke that a month later.
Oopsie daisies.
Oopsie daisies.
Well, come on. You can't expect you not to say something when
Like,
somebody's talking like that.
If he's asking how I got on the team, I'm going to tell him I didn't need to try out. I was royally asked.
I was asked so nicely.
Mm-hmm. It said pretty please with a cherry on top, and I said absolutely. Then COVID shut down that season, and it ended. I was sad.
I liked watching you play.
What did I play?
When he did end up playing.
House League, but it was like a travel house league.
It was so fun to watch.
It was fun to play, but it also sucked because there was no practice. Like, it was literally just you play a game with people, you just meet up, and there's a 50-50 chance if they show up. It was...
Like, I would... Listen. I can't play baseball very well, but at least I can throw well.
You want to explain that story?
I went to one of his games one time, and they were practicing, like, throwing and whatever, and they were passing it to each other, and one of the balls ended up over the fence. So I grabbed it, and they're like, oh, throw it here. So I was, like, a pretty far distance away, and I threw it to him directly, and they're just sat there and went, damn. Like, oh my gosh, like, damn, that was a pretty good throw. And I'm like,
my parents and my grandparents.
No, your grandparents were there this time.
No, then it was just my parents.
Yeah, it was just your parents this time. But I threw it to them, whatever, and then they ended up throwing the ball over the fence again.
My team was bad.
Yes, and I threw it again over to them, and his dad was like, Savannah, you don't need to show off. You know you're better than half the people on this team. But, like, and I'm just sitting there, and I went, okay, I won't.
It was funny, too, because you were.
I've never played baseball. I never claimed to play baseball.
I was never a fighter. I never claimed to be a fighter.
That's why I said
Rice Hall.
No, it was super fun, but I was a little surprised because that's a pretty high compliment, especially from his dad. And I was happy.
It was, that house league. It was all right. It was meh. The first game, either my mom it was a typo from my mom. She was out wherever on vacation for the first game.
Timbuktu.
She was in Timbuktu, enjoying the beaches of Timbuktu. So my grandparents were watching us, and they're like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." They were talking, and your game's at 5, whatever it was. Turns out the game was at 6, so I showed up an hour and a half early.
Better be early than late.
Yeah. To not do anything. So we're talking, and then my shoes were from the football season, so the toe of them is coming off the thing, and whatever, they were bad. So my grandparents took me out the next day and bought me baseball cleats. I still have them.
Lovely people, by the way.
Love them.
Lovely people.
I still have them.
They were so nice to me. I freaked out the first time I ever met them. I was on call with him, and I'm like, yeah, your grandparents, they're gonna hate me. Like, they're not gonna like me. You think I was nervous for his parents? No, I wasn't nervous for his parents. His grandparents, I was petrified. But they were really nice, so.
So yeah, I was sitting there, and then I was throwing to myself. I was throwing it against a wall. Like, I had a couple baseballs in my bag, so I'm throwing them against a wall, and I'm like, okay, now I'm bored. Then I went onto the mound. I'm like, okay, maybe I can just kind of warm up my arm and kind of just pitch from the mound, get used to it again. And then I got bored because I was only throwing at a tire. It was.
You got tired of that one.
I got tired of that one.
I'm hilarious, don't worry.
But it was long season. I talked about this on the Concession Stand podcast. I ended up getting my final game ever playing youth baseball. I ended up getting ejected because I was right. The umps were wrong. Truthfully, I was right. They actually overturned the call after I got ejected, so I was right.
But the only reason he didn't go back into the game was because of his big mouth over here.
Hey.
Which was fair, to be honest, but
I'm
at the
right.
same time...
That's all I need to know. Those umps where we played, I talked about it in the other podcast. Bad, horrible. We always had a problem with them. Both teams always had a problem. They just did not know baseball. Which is really funny considering they're umpires. Or they didn't get paid enough, that too.
Empire, more like fired.
It's like a good third of the actual MLB umpires should be
kidding.
fired.
I'm just kidding.
No, they were bad.
Yeah.
They should know they're bad. I remember the ump was like, "Oh, you want to get tossed?" I'm like, "Do it. It's my final game. I'm not playing tomorrow. I don't care." My coaches sucked still, but my coaches were just like assholes though. One of them was an asshole. The other two were fine. I've rarely had good coaches. My dad used to coach me. I tell you that.
I knew that.
The only reason he coached was because one of the coaches was just like the financial person. They needed 3 coaches. So they went to my dad one day because I was warming up and he was like watching me and I would miss and he's like, you'd yell at me to change something and I'd change it, I'd throw a strike perfectly. And they're like, you want to start coaching? And he's like, sure. So he coached the rest of the season with us, which was nice. That was fun.
He's pretty smart when it comes to that stuff.
He's great. Great baseball mind.
Yeah, super smart.
Trying to think if there's anything else we can talk about.
Well, we went from high school to baseball.
I didn't even finish COVID.
Yeah.
We've switched topics 3 times before finishing my thought.
No, we went from bikes to dogs to high school.
To YouTube, back to high school.
Then back to baseball.
Then baseball. Now back to high school.
Isn't that great?
COVID.
Great.
It sucked when we had to go back.
I don't know. I liked it. I was so excited.
I didn't like it because I knew we would be like, okay, now we have to stay sick. It was like, we went back and we're like, what's the point? If we're not going to be able to do the full school activities and we have to stay 6 feet apart and whatever it was, right?
I liked it because I got to see people again. And my favorite class was my drama class, especially during COVID times. It was my favorite class because I didn't do it online at all, but I got to go.
Happy I didn't choose grade 10 COVID.
I got to experience drama during back from COVID, and it was so fun because we had so many fun games and so many fun things, and our teacher, phenomenal guy, and he always he always had so many different things and ideas and ways to be able to experience the whole experience of drama in COVID. And he would let us go outside when it was warm and nice, and we would play games, and it was just so fun.
Because wasn't the rule, when did we have drama? That was second semester, right?
Nope. First semester
of grade 11?
Grade 11, yes.
Yeah, because I remember, because whoever it was, I don't know if we had 2 drama teachers at the time.
No, it was...
Was it him? Well, one of them taped the floors to have our own cubbies. Our little spot.
I think that was... Yeah, that was...
Was that Collins?
Yes, it was.
Love Collins. Love Braun and Collins. We can say them. We like them. We can say their name.
I just don't want to,
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how many Collins there are in our
true.
schools?
That's true.
I had 3 Collins in my elementary schools, teachers with the last name Collins.
Plus, he doesn't go to the school we went to anymore, so...
L. Oh, my
L?
God. I know, it's an L because he left.
It was so sad.
It was so sad, but it was nice because, yeah, you got to see people, but you would have to, you got to see them from the same distance as I would see them through my computer screen. Because you would have to be 3 feet back
What do you mean? We got cool. What was it? We got cool mats. We got to sit on mats all day with chairs.
That was fun, but it was outside of that, you would sit and you would have to be 6 feet apart from everyone, which is that's farther than me and my computer screen, and I could just easily talk to my friend through that. Because if I'm not allowed to go up to my friend and give him a high five, what's the point of being there?
The only thing I ever forgot about was putting on my mask again, especially when we went back outside and then we had to go back in. I would always forget to put my mask on. And then I'd sit there and they're like, Savannah, your mask. I went, oh my gosh, I forgot. My hands were either full or I just honestly forgot. Because sometimes I get distracted really easily.
Don't we all? Bashed my finger against the table.
He's dying. It's okay. Don't worry about him.
Anyways, so I love that rule where you get to go outside and you can take off your mask. And then I remember they tried to make it so when you go outside you can't take off your mask. And
I don't remember that.
I thought for a while they tried to make it, and people were like,
I don't think so.
The kids we didn't listen to it anyway.
I don't think so. I don't remember that at all.
Really?
No, I
thought I remembered it.
I don't think so because like we're out in like the air. We can't like it was that we have to stay 6 feet apart.
Which was broken immediately.
Especially in our drama class. Thanks, Colin.
There was so little we could do actually 6 feet apart.
No. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. In our drama class we had a lot of freedom. He wanted to give us, he had limits, obviously, because
he wanted to keep us safe, but he wanted us to have fun with us.
He wanted us to be safe and protect us, but he was so good at his job. Just genuinely, he was so good at his job. Like he made sure I know, me too. He made sure our experience was worthwhile. Out of all the teachers, I will admit, he genuinely made an impact on every student he ever came across.
Gym class sucked over COVID.
I agree.
It was bad. Well,
I had fitness the whole semester because we had classes
I meant like when you had to be at home. That's when it sucked.
Oh, for me it did not. I slept through that whole thing.
Well, I would join a call and then they're like, okay, film this activity. And you would go down. I actually did it in the room over here. I would film it for 5 minutes and be like, okay, I'm done. And I would just go back upstairs and play games. My mom would be like, aren't you supposed to be done? And I'm like, I'm done.
Well, yeah. But, I think we had 2 different experiences then. Because
yeah.
For me, we had to do a call. And for the first week of that semester, we had to basically, we just did like writing for hours.
That's so stupid.
But then the rest of the time we had to submit in like exercises. But ours were 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
Because to a half an hour, depending on whatever. Our fitness teacher was a fitness nut. Like he was, oh my goodness. But
my teacher was so nice.
But I was like in the best shape of my life because of that teacher, to be honest.
That's fair.
Because I am, again, such a tryhard. Every time I went into that class, I was with athletic, tall guys. Like, I basically had me and 3 other girls with me. And the girls, obviously, were only there to, like...
get the credit.
Yeah. Which is fine. Not a big deal. And I don't judge. It's just, like...
I do.
I was in it to win it. Like, I wanted people to know that, like, I'm not somebody to be messed with. Like, I wanted them to know that just because I'm small and just because whatever does not mean you get to run me over. I still had a lot of people who, like, shoved me a lot, especially during hockey.
Hockey was physical, but it was so
they
fun.
Did not care who
Hockey
I was or
so
what
fun.
I was.
I was never in a gym class with her, which sucked.
He visited a few times.
I did visit when we were dating.
It was nice.
Actually, I think it was even kind of before we were dating. I would stop by.
Yeah, well, you'd stop by with friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dom.
Love you, Dom. But we, like my gym, it would be, we would have call for like 15 minutes, stretch, and then she would send us off on our way to record the thing. And I'm like, okay, so here's how you do it. And I did like 1 set, and I'll be like, okay, now we're moving on to the next one. And I would do one set, and I would do like five different exercises, one set each. And I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna do them off camera just so I can get it out of the way, and then I would just not do it. I'd go right back into bed.
I can't remember my fitness teacher's name.
I was Miss Green. She was awesome. I keep seeing her at my work sometimes.
Oh yeah, Kylie liked her too. No, mine was the tougher version of Mr. Laux.
Oh, I love Laux. I want to get Laux on the podcast.
Oh,
I want to get Laux or Chomik
on the
podcast.
Do you remember who I'm talking about at all?
I think, was he bald?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he would push you. If he pushed you. Like, and I had, when we went back to school, that's what teacher I had, and it was, you have to run like 10 laps, don't stop. Don't stop.
I would drop
and if
this class.
You stopped, like, it was okay. It wasn't a big deal. But I was with the big leagues. Because we had
with the jocks.
We had 3 sections. So it was like the top.
Right.
This is Miss Laux. Never mind.
The meaner version of Mr. Laux, Mrs. Laux.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, Miss Laux.
But he was more physical. We were in
the weight room.
Yeah, most of the time, and
I hated that place.
I liked it only when we were doing legs because I have very strong legs, and my arms, they're a lot stronger now than they were in high school, but like when I was in high school, I could barely lift anything.
Noodle arms, trunk legs.
It would always embarrass me. But what is it?
And some big ham honks.
Hey, ow, bah.
Anyways.
But I think I liked Miss Laux more than him. Like, I liked him, but I was exhausted because we had the same class for one whole week.
I loved that though.
I liked it for certain things.
I loved it.
I liked it for certain things. I liked it for a lot of reasons. But when I did that class, I was exhausted every single day. I would pass out as soon as I hit the bed. I would sleep off my entire day. I was exhausted all the time. But it was so fun because I like proving myself. I like it.
Right. Which
I have mentioned a few times. But I it's just one of those things. It's like I always have to catch up with people who are higher than me. Because it's like, as soon as I catch up to them, I know nobody can say anything about me. Nobody can say anything. They can't say, oh, Savannah's lazy. No, I'm not. I'm up with you.
That's fair.
So and that's why I still do it now at work. I went from a cashier to the hardest working, like area. Like the hardest.
Yeah, like the most difficult, most physical position.
I went from doing absolutely no physical work to only doing physical work.
I think I liked the one. The only thing I didn't like about the one class a week was then you had another class the next week, and then at least for me, I would forget a lot of what we learned the week before, like the last week we did into the next week. And
my memory's
why can't we just have a recap?
My memory's too good for that.
I had a teacher, chemistry teacher. I was so excited for chemistry. I liked the idea of chemistry and making things explode and making things like...
I had a science class that I didn't get to experience.
there. But my teacher ruined it. The way she had her class, it was like it was 2 days of learning because we would have half days. That's how we did it. We would go 8 to like noon, quarter to 1. Something like that. I don't remember exactly. And then it would be like study hall, and you could leave early if you wanted to.
I liked study hall.
I think I left early a lot.
I also liked when we had a 5-minute break all the time, so that we can walk around the hallway, see friends, whatever. And it only started when COVID hit, and I used to love that time when we got to go and see friends and stuff. I'd see him a lot.
Some teachers were so strict about it.
I got to wait outside his class a lot. This was before we were dating. This was when
What
we were
class
just
would it have
friends.
been?
You were in math class. I'd come out,
I
come
don't
in.
remember what class where I would have been. I know the hallway. I just don't remember the classroom.
I remember the classroom. Two. It was the third one.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to sit outside your class a lot with like whoever. Who did I bring a lot of the time?
Josh?
Josh?
Maybe? I don't remember.
I don't think it was Josh.
I remember leaving early because you would leave at like 1:45, and it was nice, but it ended up like my teacher, my chemistry teacher had it messed up. It'd be 2 days of learning. You would then have a experiment. I don't know what they're called. An experiment. And then you would have a day of review for the test. That was then the Friday. I'm like, how does this make sense? And you wouldn't remember. That was, I think, one of my worst, next to my grade 12 math, one of my worst classes. Grade 12 math, the teacher was bad. And I didn't learn anything because I didn't get to write down anything. It was all on whiteboard, so you'd erase it. I couldn't remember how to do the equation. It sucked. I hated it. I still ended up passing though with like a 63.
My
mom wasn't too happy, and I'm like, yeah. I'm happy.
At least you passed. Well, like I have a fairly decent memory when it comes to a lot of stuff.
Right.
The only class I had a hard time in was my math class.
Which is weird for me because the only time I really struggled was English, except for grade 9 with
I was so good at English. I've always been bad at math, but my grade 11 math class.
There are two types of kids. There's a math kid and an English kid.
I was really, I couldn't remember anything, and I had a lot of distractions in that class.
That was Dom, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't in any of your math classes.
He didn't mean to.
I would have been a bad distraction too.
He didn't mean to. It's just like he was right next to me. That's where we officially met.
For
me
the
and
third
him.
Time.
Oh yeah, that's another story for another day. But me and him met each other in that class, and like I just couldn't get anything done. It was either him or the annoying girl next to me.
It's a lose-lose either way.
She would copy off me a lot and ask me for things, and she would only talk about boys, and she would text me about boys, and she asked me to talk to these boys and whatever, and she would do.
Do I know her?
Yeah. She went to your old school.
You have to tell me after because I don't remember. You'll tell me after the podcast. So I'll remember.
I was gonna say you could bleep it out if it's not.
No, because once I throw in the intro and I make sure the audio is fine, I'm just gonna leave it. I don't want to do more editing.
Hold on. Hold.
I don't know.
Hold on.
I had science
I'm gonna
with
type
Dom.
it to
That's
you.
how him and I met.
No, he's like the most. He's so fun, but so distracting.
Amen.
No, I don't care. I'm just gonna.
Anyways,
what was it? Oh, we got so off topic again. No, we got so off topic again.
No.
I was gonna say my high school experience. My high school experience was.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah. My high school experience was really, really like because my elementary school experience, right, was really good. I didn't really have any problems personally. I was the nice kid. Like I had a lot of friends, so if anybody messed with me, automatically there'd be somebody in my corner.
Yeah.
So I had people who tried to pick on me, but then there was these other kids who would protect me before anything could happen to me, which is good. I had a lot of different types of experiences. Got harassed a lot, which was nice.
Oops.
No, I was I guess. Well, in
A lot of short jokes.
Shut up.
That was just me.
In high school, I had it wasn't very different to me. Like, I was really nervous and everything was bigger and it was scary for the most part. But then, like, I got friends and people. He was one of my first friends in high school. I met him in October.
We can tell the story for another day. Another podcast of
What?
how we met.
How we met?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't.
We met in October.
We met in October. And there was like little bits and pieces in between where like we stopped talking at one point, mostly because stuff happened, like drama, whatever. Stuff that happened with you.
Yeah.
Things that happened with him. So he was
Oopsies.
spooked.
I was spooked.
But I was okay. Eventually we started talking again in grade 11.
Yes,
No, grade 10.
When
grade
I got
10.
Snap, I think it was...
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, so grade 10.
Grade 10.
I
Because
think you were one of the first people I added because you were the one first to pop up.
Sick. I didn't know that. But he was like
Excellent.
him and a bunch of other people I would talk to during COVID. But me and him would stay up for hours and just chat for hours.
About what? Bad
Anything?
pickup lines. We would...
Bad pickup lines. Oh my
Bad
god.
pickup lines. That can be another topic for another day.
Oh, of course. But like, I've always been really good at bad pickup lines. What was it? But like my grade 9 year, good grades, lots like friends, whatever. Grade 10 was pretty much the same thing except a lot of COVID stuff, and I would just chill out in my room, watch YouTube, and I would stay up for hours, mostly drawing actually. I was very productive when it came to my art because I'm very passionate about it. Like, I know I'm not the best artist or anything like that, but I'm a pretty decent artist. Like, and I have...
She's great. I love her art.
I have, like, I like doing it. It's very therapeutic. And, like, I was with my dad a lot during that. And then grade 11, when we came back, I was super happy. Super happy. Happiest day. Like, I've always been, like, a very happy kid. Like, I was always a happy kid. And, I just liked being around people. People were, like, to me, the best.
Right.
Like, I loved people. I still do. Just some people kind of suck. I found that in customer service. And,
I found that by living.
But, my main friend group was with him. And, like, I was friends with everybody. I kind of had collective. Like, I was friends with every group. Like, I wasn't, like, just in one spot.
You weren't a part of a clique.
No.
Like how most people are. You were, like...
I was in every clique.
You just floated around.
I was in every clique.
Yeah.
I just liked being with people. I just liked learning. Plus, like, all the gossip I knew about. Everything. I knew everything and everyone's, like, business. I didn't mean to. Kind of just happened. And I never really spreaded it. Like, spreaded it. I never, put that around.
You never shared the information. You just knew of it.
Yeah. Oh, the only person I ever shared any info with is my twin. Oh. Which I don't know if anybody else knew that, but I'm a twin. Isn't that cool?
We can get her on the podcast.
One of these days. She can tell us about twin experiences or anything else. I don't know. Our childhood. But, I don't know. I had a really good experience in high school, which sucks that he didn't. Because, really but weird. I think it's funny because our experiences are so different.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite.
Well, it's going to be great too in the future when we have a family. We like can prepare for everything because either one of us has been through it
or the other has been through
it. Yeah, it's like one of us has been through it and we can always like, hey, kid comes back, go, hey, this has happened. Oh yeah, go talk to your mother. It happened to her.
Yeah, this
Go talk to
happened.
your
Go
father.
to
It happened
yeah.
to her.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you want to tell the story on how you introduced yourself to the whole high school? You can say no.
Totally forgot about that.
That's what was in my head this whole time. I don't want you to say it, but at the same time I want you to say it. I know it's embarrassing.
I actually totally forgot about that until you brought it up.
Oh,
I'm never gonna forgive you for that. Nope. That's it. Officially never.
Okay, so I guess we're not talking about
happened.
Oh, we are talking about it.
Well, I can do it quick. We're already an hour. See how much more fun it is. It's much more fun with more people. With another person.
It is nice to talk a bit. Like
I now see why Jonah records all his podcasts
with other people.
In person. I get it, Jonah. I understand now, but I'm still not driving out to your place. You can come here if you really care.
Do it.
I don't drive highways. You do. You go to Toronto every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know.
This setup's better than yours. I don't care if your dad works at a radio station at home. I don't care. The
Yeah.
2 mics are better.
2 mics.
Skill issue.
Skill issue.
So the way I introduced...
I'm his hype man.
That's so true, though. The way I introduced myself in high school, it was the orientation. It was so stupid.
And I remember it.
In context, in elementary school, I was called Big C. Probably should have not accepted that nickname looking back. But I had a nickname, and I thought I was cool because I had a nickname. And I just wanted to be cool. So I go, and our orientation, they're like, oh, let's, get a couple of you guys up here. I was one of them. And I went up with a kid who I was okay with. I was okay with him. He wasn't one of the bad ones.
I don't remember them. I remember you.
Anyways, so I went up with him, and I go, hey, how should I introduce myself? He goes, say you're Big C. And I'm like, what? He goes, say you're Big C. And that's like the girls, 2 people. They're like, I'm Alicia. I'm Samantha. And it's like me. I'm like, I'm Big C. And
it erupted. Let me tell you.
Did it? I don't remember that part. I remember
saying I guess people knew it.
So it was probably just the kids who knew me.
Yes. The whole I didn't know. I didn't care. I was like, oh, sick.
I did have people like grade 12s who saw me call me Big C.
But
Logan.
They did it because they were meh.
The grade 12s, no, that's just how they knew me.
Oh, them?
I must have been memorable then.
Oh,
the kids who I went to elementary school with were assholes.
Yes, they were terrible.
But,
and especially this one guy. I won't mention names. I won't say names. But
there's so many of them.
Well, there was this one guy who I remember because he was an asshole to me. So it was like...
Is this the kid I fought?
No.
That's another story.
But
one high school fight.
Basically, I was in the stadium, right? And this random kid walks up, and all I hear is, I'm Big C. And I'm like, this guy must be popular.
No.
Damn.
I was never... I just knew popular. A lot of people. I for good and bad reasons, I was known by a lot of people, and I knew a lot of people. I didn't know a lot of people. I knew a handful of people who knew me, but they knew me. I don't know how. I don't know why. They just did. Probably not for good reasons, but they knew me.
Actually, I think he might have known more people than I did.
That's fair.
People, because what was it? A lot of people knew who I was. And a lot of people, I was, again, the nice girl. That was my title. I was the nice girl who knew everybody.
That's fair.
And, it's just because I would just start up a conversation, and then automatically I got 1, 2, 3 new friends.
Oh, yeah.
That's how all of my friends started. I just randomly came up to people, and I'm like, you want to be friends? Let's be friends. Okay.
You know what?
And I'd get their Snapchats.
You know the part of high school that I regret the most?
Mm-hmm.
Actually going to graduation.
Graduation was very boring.
Keep in mind, my last name is at the end of the alphabet.
Oh, yeah, it's after mine. Just after mine.
Just after.
Just after mine.
So, we would go, and it would be and I don't know if any of you are watching have graduated high school. It is very boring. The speech that is given by the principal at the start of it, you can Google. It is basically word for word.
Can't be any worse than our friend started with whose letter started with a Z.
I don't even know that person. I probably do. I just can't remember them. Someone that we actively talk to.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I remember who they are.
Yes, okay, yes. Keep in mind, he was like 3 spots back away from me.
That doesn't mean you don't know who he is.
He probably went up with me. I don't remember. Maybe he was the next group. I don't. Anyways.
He did go up with you.
Oh. Yeah. Anyways, so we went.
Carter, everybody.
And I'm sitting there, and they're going up. The way they did it was 5 people at a time. And they would go up and be like, it would be the girl at the front with the script. Jeremy Smith. Rhea Smithley. And it would be like...
Rhea Smithley is hilarious.
It's after Smith. Anyway, so it would be in order of the kids. And then you got to the kids who were like super smart. Ronald Weasley. I don't know. Award recipient of blank, 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 blank. And it would be like 2 minutes long of the lady just reading the awards they won. And you're like, okay, just say they got a lot of awards. Who won a lot of awards next? Like, and you would be, it was so boring.
And we had
Couldn't have our
about
phone.
how many, we had like, what? Like,
500 kids? 600 kids?
I think it was 500.
500 alone, just graduating.
I think it was 480.
We'll round up,
it was,
saying even 500.
That's why, it was 480.
480. We had 480 kids graduating. It was a 4-hour long thing. My parents, it was in a like hockey arena.
My parents should have left.
My parents
Come back.
My parents were sitting there and they're like, "I'm happy that it's over. I wish we didn't go. I'm happy you got the photo." I told my mom, "Like, I'm happy you got the photos. I never want to do that again." She goes, "Great, because you don't have to do it again." I'm graduating in 2 months from college for the first time. Except that shouldn't take as long. Hopefully not. And I will bring my phone this time. Anyways, anything else we want to touch on? We have been recording for an hour and 21 minutes.
Holy cow.
Right?
I don't really know. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, that's
the
water droplets.
We
can always talk about it the next episode too.
There's a lot we can talk about, but we also have so many opportunities to do it, especially considering I am now his co-host.
In person and through video too.
Like, I think that's pretty awesome. It won't be as impressive when you see my setup, just saying. His setup is a lot more impressive than mine. Mine is about a desk this big, my phone, and a bunch of stuffies. I have a stuffy collection if you want to see that.
We can show that off in the next episode or in a different episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have yet, follow, subscribe, check out her channel, check out my channel. I now have to go through and change some things on the card and a bunch of other things for this podcast, but we'll get it fixed.
It'll be so great.
It will be.
It'll be so great.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys in the next episode.
Goodbye.
Peace.